Today on Expert Showcase, we go behind the episode with Alex Khrapov, who is talking about how to turn your coaching practice into a thriving business. So, Alex, welcome again to this is the behind the episodes section to orient our audience. The reason I'm saying welcome again to Alex is that we just, as Chris said, we just created an episode. We're going to show you that episode in just a couple of minutes. Alex, you and I are going to have a bit of a chat right now about the episode, but really about your background a little bit about how you market your business to other coaches, how you get visibility, how you build your credibility, how you establish yourself as an authority in your niche. And as we're doing that, Chris is going to be listening in the background. You and I can't see it, but on screen the audience can see that Chris is taking some notes as we speak, and then we'll flip it back over to Chris, who's then going to give us some feedback about the notes he's taking and what he hears in our conversation that could be of value to us as well as to our viewers. Make sense?
Yeah, perfectly.
So, Alex, we just did a great episode. It was called, it's called Turning Your Coaching Practice into a Thriving Business. You are a coach's coach, essentially. You're helping other coaches build a thriving practice. How did you get into this? Because you, as people will hear in a few minutes here, you come from a very different background.
That's true. I came from nuclear physics, and as I mentioned...
Listen, guys, he's not joking. He comes from nuclear physics.
Yes, I'm not joking. It's kind of, that's exactly as scary as it sounds. I mean, but it was a long time ago. It was the former Soviet Union times, and after the Soviet Union collapsed, I changed my career because of some certain reasons, and I actually moved to business. And since then, I was starting businesses in Sweden. For 6 years, I was working in manufacturing with my own company. Then I created a new company in Brazil, Rio de Janeiro. For 7 years, I was working in the oil and gas industry company. Then I opened a new company in Switzerland, and 15 years I was trading stocks, buying and selling shares online. So there are lots of things happened, and as a result, after I get graduated from coaching and training courses in London, I decided that the best way to offer my services is to in a direction where I have the most experience and where I am the strongest one, which is business startup, because that's what I've been doing for 25 years. So I opened a business school for coaches because I discovered that majority of coaches came not from entrepreneurial background. They were employed, and as a result, they found themselves easily overwhelmed when they supposed to do all those entrepreneurial things, handling a new position and having new mindset of entrepreneur. And so I created a business school for coaches, and I'm offering online annual courses for coaches who would like to set up their business in a proper, decent way with a full foundation, creating niche, creating a website, creating offer, products, and delivering that product, all those elements which every business is supposed to have.
Excellent, yeah, and people are going to hear a lot of that in the episode to come, some really great focused advice about how people can really build some of the key components into their coaching business. So, Alex, as an aside, obviously your passport has a lot of stamps in it, and I'm going to guess you have quite a few frequent flyer miles.
Oh yeah, that's true. And recently, actually, I was invited in the American Society of Training and Development conference in Washington, and one of those tools which I mentioned in our previous episode, I was demonstrating in that ASTD conference in Washington in May.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
Yeah,
So you do get around. So, Alex, when you're working to develop your own business and your own practice, and you're working on how to get your own marketing, how do you really define your core audience, your niche? How do you define your ideal client that you're looking to work with?
Yeah, my ideal client, Mark, is a coach who got certified, and maybe coach who are not immediately jumping into the action, but because usually coaches after certification, they spend a year, 2, 3, kind of trying to do things on their own, but finally they arrive to the conclusion that they need help. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, the sooner they arrive to that conclusion, the better. But usually people takes kind of several years. So my ideal client is person who are dreaming to have their own coaching business. They already took the first step. They got certified.
Right.
You know, they went through the formal education, and that's where they discovered that they have no idea how to set up the business. And usually they already struggled with doing it on their own. So they need help, guidance. They need some kind of structure, system. They would, you know, like university, Mark. You go to the first, you know, you enroll in the university, you know that you're going to graduate and you know that you're going to reach your outcome. The same way the coach is supposed to have a structure. When they step into that structure, they know that the outcome would be having your own business, you know, totally set up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a structure which I created.
Sounds good. Excellent. So, yeah, that's the person who has gotten their certification. They've done some struggling. They're trying to get going, but they're a little bit lost in the woods. They're a little bit not having that background, as you said, as an entrepreneur. So they need that help and guidance. So you step in then and make yourself available as the coach's coach. Now, how do you try to get visibility for yourself? I know you're doing things. I know you have a book coming that you're working on. You mentioned, so which is the same title as our episode. So turn your coaching practice into a thriving business. So you're working on a book, but at the moment, what is your main vehicle for trying to get visibility and get people to know that you are a credible source of help to them when they're in that situation?
No, there are several things which because social media in the last 4 or 5 years just booming. And you could find Headway Coaching Group in Facebook, Twitter, you know, LinkedIn, and everywhere. But as always with every business, there are some, I would say, some elements or some preferences which works better than others. So in my particular case, LinkedIn is the main vehicle which I have, you know, supply of clients. It's a first, and second one is that certain conferences. I mean, I use that ISTD, American Society of Training and Development conferences, as one of the great tools to promote my business, because it's 80,000 members and 11,000 people are attending the conference. So even though it's like a once in a year, but it's booming and it's helping my business to grow. So
you get a lot of reach for, even though it's once a year, but there's a very large audience that you can reach through the promotional materials that the conference is putting out.
Exactly. So being a speaker and working through the LinkedIn. So through the LinkedIn, I have articles. You know, I have regular posts. I am present in the Facebook, Twitter, and so as a result, that the only thing people need to remember that business is it's a marathon, and so do not expect something to happen immediately. Right. Persistency and consistency, I would say, it's a key. Excellent. So you need, in such a way, you need to be kind of very procedural and long-term oriented in order to have results.
Well, Alex, I have a funny feeling we could probably, you know, go on and on forever, because you're a wealth of great information, and I love to tap into it. But you know, I don't want to keep people on the line too long, and then Chris's fingers are going to break if I have him keep, you know, taking notes over here. So, Chris, seemed like a good place to flip over to you. Well, Alex, I have a funny feeling we could sit here and talk about many things all day long here, because you are a font of information about business building and really getting it right and getting it structured. But we've got to, you know, flip this over to Chris now, because he's going to give us some feedback about these notes that he's hopefully been feverishly typing away. We sometimes think he's off here doing his email. But Chris, what do you got for us?
Yeah, exactly. I have to now stop doing email, Twitter, and everything else, and focus. Now, in all seriousness, first of all, great episode, Alex. Really enjoyed it. I must admit to everybody, I feel kind of small at this point. I mean, I'm sitting below a nuclear physicist and a neuroscientist, so, you know, I'm just kind of a little old me at this point. So before we get into some of the questions you had and other feedback, I want to give you I want to give you and also the person, the white couch, you right there. You got to sit up and listen to this. This is good stuff. So one of the things I love was the fact that you started off as a nuclear physicist, you turned into a stock trader, and then turned into a businessman, and then realized at some point that you were meant to help coaches build their business, and you had that entrepreneurial spirit, and that was what you were meant to do. So first, I commend you on that, because that is a huge leap to go through. I can't even imagine put aside the fact of where it was happening and the time it was happening and everything else and all the struggles that, while we haven't talked about it, I'm sure that you had gone through. The fact of it is that's a big leap to go through, and a lot of coaches go through the same leap. But what I want you to hear, yeah, you on the black couch right there, yeah, you, what I want you to hear is this. What Alex did was he found his true calling. He found what he did best, and he realized that he could coach people on it. And you as coaches have to do the same thing. Yeah, purple couch. Yep. Did you hear me talking? Yeah, we're talking here. So come on, come in close to the screen and listen. Fact of the matter is that some of you, especially here in the United States, have heard the old adage that those who can do and those who can't coach. Well, I'll tell you right now, don't believe it. Some of the best coaches, especially like in the National Football League and in other sports, some of the best coaches are players who were incredible players when they played. And so it is with you, and so it is with Alex. He figured out that he was a great coach, figured out that he was a great businessman, and figured out he could take all of that knowledge and figured out his passion. And his 0 point was coaching people on their businesses. So I love that. I love you created a coaching school for business. I think it's something that's sorely needed. There's a lot of programs out there that can help you build your business, and if you're willing to go kind of in their style, in their way, I think it's great. I know I wish that I would have followed a coaching business model sooner than what I did, and me not following a great business model led to a divorce, a financial meltdown, and a whole lot of other nasty things happening. As we joked around before, not even a joke. There was a time where I only had cat food in the house, which was not a very good day, a very depressing day. So I also love who you're looking for. The fact that you're looking for certified coaches struggling to create their business, because it's such a great service and a great need that's out there right now. The fact that you've now also created a book, it's funny because we talk all the time about visibility, credibility, and authority. And as Mark likes to say, authority comes from the word author, and so when you're an authority, you've written the book. So I'm really looking forward to when you release your book. I'll repeat the title, Turn Your Coaching Practice into a Thriving Business, which is awesome. It's going to be great when you do that. One of the other things I want everybody to focus on, especially in the recliner. I know my voice. I'm droning on. I know you're getting sleepy. It's okay. You're getting very sleepy. It's okay. Wake up. Let's go. Wake up. The fact of the matter is that one of the things Alex said was great was the fact that he goes out to social media on a regular basis, persistently and consistently, and builds that credibility, builds that visibility, and builds that depth. And that is the key, the fact that this is a process. So one of the things that I like, that I want you to speak a little more about, Alex, was delivering value specific to your niche, or your niche, as we learned in Canadian the other day from the other Mark that was on. So when you talk about delivering value specifically to your niche and delivering it or niche, see, he's got me saying it now. I'll have to tell him when we talk later. And deliver it in small bits consistently. Give us a little more about that.
Well, I think that as you just mentioned, that delivering value and have your clear position is really the essence of any business. And knowing your clientele, knowing who your clients and what your clients' problems are is essential. So the direct and most reliable way to find your clients is, I would say, to throw around yourself the bits of solution. I don't know, I'm talking a little bit in a metaphorical way. But when you are chunking down your big solution and starting and consistently throwing around you through all possible channels of communication some bits of those solutions, after a while, if you are persistent and consistent with that, over the time you will discover that there are certain amount of people who are waiting, who are ready, and they are digesting those bits of solution. Yeah. That's how your ideal clients are gathering and getting connected with you. So
yeah, that is awesome. You know, Mark, that fits right into visibility, credibility, and authority that we always talk about. So why don't you throw the folks a little bit kind of, you know, it was awesome to hear what Alex just said. How does that fit into visibility, credibility, and authority, and the stuff that we
Well,
do?
it fits perfectly. I mean, you know, Alex is really doing this, what we recommend most people do, which is, you know, visibility is about kind of breadth, you know, trying to get your bits of information, your pieces of solution. When Alex is saying throwing it around, it's about distribution, right? It's about getting it onto as many different platforms, social media platforms, audio, video, print, whatever formats you can repackage that information into. When we talk about credibility, for us, it's really about then creating a layering process, and we have found for ourselves and for the clients we work with that for many experts, a great way to do that is to have some kind of a show structure, whether it's a podcast show, whether it's a video show like we produce, but you're coming back week after week and delivering, you know, systematically some solutions to real problems that people are searching for. And then, of course, Alex is right in harmony with what we talk about, and as you said, Chris, authority, author, writing the book on your niche, really positioning yourself as having this deep, solid platform as an authority. You know what you're talking about. You have real, valuable solutions to deliver to people who have painful problems. So, perfect.
Awesome, awesome. So what I want to do right now is, in preparation for this episode, we asked Alice to give us a few questions on video content, marketing, delivery, that sort of thing that we could answer so that he could find out a little more, and so that you, in the, what color is that couch? Mark, can you see the couch? Because I'm having trouble. What color is it this time?
It looks pretty brown to me.
Brown,
man.
okay. You on the brown couch right there. Yep, you sit up and listen. So here we go. So the first question was, what is the most engaging format for video content delivery? There's a lot of different, how can I put this? So there's a lot of different ways to deliver the video content. There's a lot of different channels to deliver the video content, and in the end, what marketers love is this whole concept of an autoplay video. So you go right to the channel, go right to Twitter or Facebook, have the video autoplay to suck people in right away. Yet a lot of consumers still hate it. So the first thing I would say is you got to figure out where your ideal client consumes the video and in what method they enjoy consuming the video. And let me give you one quick example. If you are marketing to other marketers, if you're a coach for marketers, what I just said before, marketers want video that autoplays because that's what they're used to. So you figure out how to deliver to a channel they're on and get it to autoplay. If you're dealing with general consumers, probably not so much. So the most engaging format really ends up being more closely aligned with your ideal client, and of course it's out on social media. The second question was, how much attention do I need to devote to branding when producing video content? I believe it, and Mark, and I'm going to kind of do a dual thing here. Mark, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe branding is one of the keys in the video, because with all the new rules and restrictions and everything else YouTube and all the channels are putting, the better you can brand the video and make it a part of the video, the better you can do things without without advertisements and that sort of thing, the more powerful the video is going to be and the more easily recognizable you and your brand are going to be. Right, Mark?
Absolutely. I mean, I think branding really is just about giving people instant familiarity that they're in the right place and that you're the trusted source they were looking for, that they talked to last week. So everything about your visual presentation, having your information so that you're creating a seamless flow in your video that ties to the graphics of your website, all of that. It's just really about comfort, I think, so that the person knows they're in the right place.
Yep, exactly. And then the third question was, what is the best marketing strategy for video content at the moment? This is an interesting one. This one I definitely don't have at my command the time today to go deep into, because we could probably do a whole 3 shows on this one, right, Mark? As far as or a whole series. A 1-4-3 maybe. We could do a 1-4-3 on. People are going, Mark's going, Chris, shut up with the jargon, and you at home watching are going, what is a 1-4-3? Well,
don't worry about it.
We'll tell you how to find out in a second. So anyway, the best marketing strategy for video content really is, I still say it's the organic reach. It's making things that people want to share. and then getting it out there and allowing them to, and giving them an easy way to share it. Yes, you can pull more eyeballs by paying for Facebook ads. Yes, you can pull more eyeballs by paying for ads. But there comes a trade-off where you're spending a lot of money and not getting a lot of return. So we recommend every marketer go out with the organic approach and get it out to as many social media channels as they can, and then make the content easily shareable. Because if you don't make it easily shareable, then people aren't going to share it. They're not going to take the time to do it. And if you don't make the content engaging, people are just going to say, I'm just going to kind of throw it away. It's one of the reasons why we like to have a whole lot of fun. It's one of the reasons why I laugh as much as I do on here, because we want this to be engaging content. And that way it'll allow for the organic reach and the organic word-of-mouth marketing to happen. Like as a story, today we were just talking about this. I know this kind of dates this episode, so I'm not exactly sure when everybody's going to see this, but today there was this big uproar on social media, or actually a couple days ago, I think it is now, about this dress that was gold, or was it black, or was it white, or was it gold, was it blue, and the thing's gone viral. And it's funny, it's not teaching content. Even the people who are talking about it going, why are we wasting our time talking about what color this dress is? It doesn't matter to anybody. The fact of the matter is, it ended up engaging somebody, and here's why it went viral. It was a dress that some people saw as gold and white, other people saw as black and blue. So there was this factor of, oh my gosh, what is going on? What do you see? What do you see? And that's what you end up getting, where if you can create videos and get them out to an organic market, organically grow, to have people go, what did you see? What did you hear? What are these people saying? That in the end is the best and most cost-effective way of marketing. Mark, do you have anything else to add to that? Anything else?
No, just to wrap that up, I would say it really comes down to what Alex was already saying, which is it's about really delivering that value and being problem-centric, because the most consistent way to engage people is to be relevant, and what could be more relevant than providing really valuable solutions to viable problems that your ideal audience is experiencing. So that would be my 2 cents.
Cool. Go ahead, Alex.
It totally makes sense. I understand that EERO, or engaging, easy to share, relevant and organic as a result. It sounds like a really, really nice pieces of advice. Thank you very much, Chris and Mark. Thanks.
Excellent. Cool.
You're welcome. So
Chris, do you have any closing thoughts for people before we roll the tape and show them Alex's episode?
My brain is empty, Mark. I'm spent, man. I'm done. No, I'm going to throw it back to you now for a quick second. See if you guys have any last comments, and then we have the ado before the out without further ado.
Okay, the ado before further. Well, Alex, it's been great having you on Expert Showcase, and especially having you join us here behind the episode. We're about to show people your episode in just a moment, but I think you have a depth of expertise that is going to be really valuable to coaches, and they're about to get a taste of that in the episode that we created earlier. So appreciate you taking the time to join us here today.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure, and thank you for having me, Mark and Chris. Thanks a lot.
So Chris, wrap us up and then roll us the tape.
Okay, so the ado before the without further ado. For those of you who have seen previous episodes, you'll get that joke. So if you are a coach or consultant, first of all, you need to stick around and watch Alex's episode, full of great content. It's a little shorter than behind the scenes because it doesn't have me rambling on it. A lot of great content, great interaction. You're going to get a lot out of it. If you are a coach or consultant and realize that being a guest on Expert Showcase would help you propel your business further, faster, quicker, and in an easy format. In other words, just come on and log in and talk is what it boils down to. If you realize that could help you, we want you to head over to expertshowcase.com, click the big apply button, fill out a very short application, send it our way, and we'll see if you're a good fit, and we'll get back to you. If you are a coach or consultant and understand the true power of video and realize that creating your content on a consistent basis is going to help you build visibility, credibility, and/or authority, then what you need to do is go to VideoContent.Agency, take a look at the services we have to offer, see if you're a good fit, and then see if one of the packages are right for you, or reach out to us and have another quick conversation. Let's see if we're a good fit. And now, without any further ado, I'm going to roll the tape.
Today on Expert Showcase, our special guest is Alex Khrapov, coming straight from Spain, talking about turning your coaching practice into a thriving business. Alex, welcome to Expert Showcase. So glad you could join us, and we're working on our international connection here. How are you today?
I'm fine, Mark. Fine, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting. Nice.
Our pleasure to have you. So tell me just real quick overview of what we're going to cover in today's episode about turning your coaching practice into a thriving business.
Well, my main business is that I'm running the business school for coaches. So over the last 8 years, I'm helping coaches to start up their business in a proper, decent way with the whole foundation which every business is supposed to have. So as a result, I have lots of experience, and I have information which I think will allow us to help lots of coaches around the world if we provide that information precisely. So there are certain ways which people could improve their business startup.
Excellent. So, and in preparing for the show, we talked about the fact that we're going to focus on three main takeaways for our audience today. So I'll just review those very quickly. So we're going to first talk about analyze and demonstrate where your client is at their starting point. Then we're going to talk about packaging your services in a product-like structural offer. And then we're going to talk about monitoring, measuring, so that you can demonstrate results and progress. Those all sound like very important parts of building a real business structure here. So let's take that from the top, Alex. You say analyze and demonstrate where your client is at the starting point. What do you advise the coaches that you're working with?
Yeah, the major problem with the coaching business, I would say, with the intention to sell coaching, is that it is quite intangible thing by nature. We are talking about psychology. So the coaches need to really pay attention how to shift and what they can do in order to make their offer as tangible as possible. And the market operates in a tangible way. When people pay money, they want to see what they're buying. So analyze. It's the first step which coaches need to pay attention to, because we're supposed to, through our services, to move our clients from where they are at the present moment to where they would like to be. So, and analyzing and fixing and demonstrating where the client is, it's totally essential, because without it, it will be very difficult to demonstrate results, very difficult to show the progress, and as a result, eventually, very difficult to sell services.
That makes absolute sense, Alex. I mean, if I envision the coaching process as a physical journey, I mean, I want to see on a map where my starting point is so that I can measure the progress towards my destination, right? That makes perfect sense.
Exactly. And if we skip that part, if we are not defining the gap, by gap I mean defining the distance and defining the real areas which your client is supposed to pass through with your help, then it's going to be really difficult to convert your potential client into the real one, or actually, to demonstrate the result of your work with the client which you're working with. So you need to have some kind of methodology and spend really decent time of analyzing and demonstrating where your client is. So that's pretty much what the first clue, how to make,
And so when you're doing that with your clients, or when you're coaching coaches to do this, are we talking about a written plan or certain tools that you use? I mean, how do you try to make this tangible? Because you're right, it's very intangible.
It's a perfect question, Mark, because I am in the past, I came from science. I mean, in the past I was initially educated as a nuclear physicist. I did my PhD in nuclear physics in all times. And so as a result, when I came 9 years ago in the coaching and training industry, I was very concerned. My mind, scientific mind, was thinking, okay, how we can make it more measurable, tangible. So I came up with several tools, and you could find those tools in our new website. I call it createmykey.com. And the idea of the tools is that you could send your client to some kind of assessment page, and after 10-15 minutes of spending time and answering questions, the software will generate the visual picture or in the form of key, which will show precisely where your client is at starting point. And that's the main tool which I'm offering for coaches and trainers and consultants to use. And actually, it's free to use on our website. So
that's a good price, Alex. People are going to like that.
Exactly.
Well, that's excellent. All right, that sounds perfect. So people are going to we'll review the website name when we wrap up, and just to make sure people get it and have a chance to write it down. So yes, make it in that analyze step concrete. So let's move on to the next really important point, I think, which is package your services as a product-like structural offer. So how do you advise the coaches you work with to do this step?
Yeah, that particular point came from realization over the years, like the last 8 years. I see the problem over and over again, and the reason, I would say, the reason rooted into the coaching education, because majority of coaches in their coaching certification courses, they are taught that they can coach anyone about anything, and as a result, after being graduated, they're trying to sell coaching hours.
Right. And
this is a really tough task on the market, because no one in the market is searching to buy coaching hours.
Right. I mean, that's not the product, right?
Yeah, exactly. But that's what coaches are trying to do, because that's how they were taught. So that's why I see the second point. It's extremely important to forget what you've been taught in the coaching, certification course, and see the potential business transaction from your client's perspective. Clients are looking to solve the problem, very concrete, precise problem. So we need to offer not coaching hours, but we need to offer solution, and that solution is supposed to be shaped in as much product-like, tangible way as possible. So that's what that particular second point is all about. We need to sell workshops, programs, which has duration, which has a sequential, following or steps, something which people would make sense, to buy, and they have a very clear perception that they bought the product.
Right. Yeah, I think we think very much alike, Alex. I mean, Chris and I in our work are constantly trying to get people to focus on the problem. It's what is the core problem that your client has, and how can you teach a solution, essentially, because nobody cares about anything else. I want my pain to go away, right? I mean, that's what I'm searching for. So excellent.
Precisely.
So you help the coaches you're working with really kind of create this mentality of, no, you've got to create a structure, a package, a product format, so that people can relate to it. Again, really kind of segues from your first point, which is about making things that are intangible feel tangible and concrete. Now I know what I'm paying for, right? So
yes, precisely.
Excellent.
I'm not going to sell hours. I'm selling solution, and right. I'm selling it in a very tangible way. That's the idea.
I think that is excellent. So let's then move on to, again, another critical point. I can tell you're coming from a science background, and it really is going to pay off, I think, for the people that are working with you. So monitor, measure, and demonstrate the results of the progress. So this is obviously a logical flow from where we started in terms of analyzing where you are. Now we're going to measure and monitor. So how do you advise coaches to implement this phase?
Yeah, Mark, as I mentioned, I created specific tools which make a snapshot where your client is at starting point. Mm-hmm. And what I usually do is I'm asking my clients in the end of our journey, after 2, 3, 4 months of work, I'm asking them to take the same assessment again.
Okay.
Anyway, and after that, because as I mentioned, the report comes in a shape of key, and the key where each tooth represents certain level of problems. I mean, the higher the tooth, the bigger the problem is. So when our clients take in the assessment second time and the key comes toothless, that's a demonstration of the job is done, and so the clients are happy. So, of course, reaching results which your client looking for to reach, it's one thing. But to demonstrate also that you've done a job and all the problematic areas are resolved, like to have something tangible in their hands, it's an essential part of that, of the deal on a transaction, business transaction which took place between you and your client. And it can easily be done using, for example, our tools. But I am sure that if it's not our tools, at least every coach is supposed to remember that in the end of the journey, you need to demonstrate results.
Right. Right. To go back to my silly analogy, I mean, if we're taking a map, I mean, you're sitting there circling the beginning point, you're then marking the milestones along the journey, and then you're circling the end point, and you're able to say, hey, look, this is where we've gone. And so using your key tool, I mean, you're giving someone a before and after snapshot, and maybe even a snapshot along the way to kind of measure that progress, demonstrate. And I think that's going to make people feel that, again, that tangible creation out of an intangible process. So this is excellent stuff, Alex. I'm really glad we've had you on the show, because I think people are going to really value and benefit from getting connected with you and really building their coaching practice. So to wrap up this thought here, so we've been talking about how to really turn your coaching practice into a thriving business, and we have hit three major keys to success here, to use the keyword again. So analyze, demonstrate where your client is at the starting point, package your services as a product-like structural offer, and then monitor, measure, demonstrate the results to that person so that they really are going to be happy with the progress they've made and the service that you've delivered. So did I summarize that pretty well, Alex?
Yeah, precisely, Mark. And it seems like a very, very simple thing. It seems like almost obvious things. But when people are getting into the business, they easily forget about those, I would say, essential points, which make your client retained, and make your client to come back to you, make your client to spread the word about your services. All those things are extremely important in order to make it work, because our business is a service-based business, and it's based on a word of mouth. So.
Absolutely. Well, you're right. It's simple when you hear it, but that's the beauty of it. Is that people often need a simple structure that they can really kind of dig into and follow. So it's excellent. So let me tell people how they can really follow up with you, Alex, and get in touch, because I think you have a depth and wealth of information to share with coaches. So the best place to connect with Alex is at his main website, which is headwaycoachinggroup.com. So headwaycoachinggroup.com. But these tools that Alex is talking about, he's building a new site which is called createmykey.com. So createmykey.com is where you can connect there. So make sure you get in touch with Alex and follow up. Check out his websites. I think you're going to find a ton of great information if you are looking to really build a successful coaching practice. Alex, thank you for being our guest today on Expert Showcase. It's been wonderful to have you, and we've even managed to hold a connection to Spain here.
Thank you very much, Mark, for having me. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
And another great Expert Showcase episode. Chris, what should people do right now?
Yeah, if you're watching this and you're a coach or consultant, imagine what it would do for you and your business if you were a guest on Experts Showcase. And here's the best part. Other than possibly increasing your business, an appearance on Experts Showcase is free. We give you a copy of your episode so you can use as marketing collateral, and we give you a coaching session to go along with it to tell you how you can best market your episode and other tips and tricks about your business. So what you want to do is head on over to expertshowcase.com, click on the big yellow apply button, and apply to be our next featured guest on the Expert Showcase. Now, if you're a coach or consultant and you've already imagined what having your own internet talk show will do for you, then we want you to head to VideoContent.Agency and check us out, check our packages out, and get in contact with us. Let's see if we're a good fit, and let's see if we're the ones to produce you and make you the next star and have your own internet talk show. And until next time, Mark, anything else?
I couldn't have said it any better, so just do what he said.